quite a few times I've interacted with thousands of students, right from the tiny tots to the college students. And sometimes we learn a lot from the tiny tots in the first Montessori or second Montessori and third Montessori, and that is when they are at their confident best. Can you believe it? You are at your confident best when you are very, very young. As you grow up, that there is a seepage of that confidence. Can anyone tell me why does that happen? Pardon me? You feel others would judge you. Is that the reason? All right. Something else? Yes. Peer pressure. Fear. Okay. For a moment I thought you meant peer pressure. Okay. Fear. Fear of what? Fear of what? Open up. You come out with your ideas. That's the very basic thing. And in fact, any discipline for that matter. See, unfortunately in India, or for that matter in most of the city, except a few countries like the Scandinavian countries and Germany and all, the way education, we have been trained to do things by rote, by mugging up things. So when Sir spoke about something, see, that's the practicality of something. Working on something is a huge difference from listening to a lecture. I could come and give a lecture, this machine works like that, at this kind of speed, and this is the velocity and all that. But a layman with experience will handle the same machine far better than a postgraduate in engineering, because a postgraduate has just listened to it, understood the principles. I am not in any way negating the importance of theory. It is very, very important. But just then look at the combination. How strong would it be if you have the backing of experience along with the theoretical support that it requires? That's very important, right? So especially Roshni, here I think you come from very many streams, and this may not be the normal way. I mean, you would have your own aspirations, you would want to do things your way, very differently, you would want to stand out and all that. For that, involve yourself, come out of your shell, come out of your comfort zone. It's very important. And nothing like trying to walk the talk. See, there are certain things. One of the reasons is communication is basically an life skill, right? What's the difference? Can any one of us learn swimming just by watching someone on the TV? Can we do that? We can't, right? We can't jump into the water, then we will rather drown. There is something called as instinct also. I don't know whether you have heard it. Throw an young infant, maybe about 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, into the water. Will that baby drown or swim? Yes. Swim. So what takes over there is an instinct. Why doesn't that instinct take over in our cases? Tell me. The child had the instinct, it swims, but we drown. Why? Where did that instinct go? The reason is we are apprehensive, we are scared, we were very conscious of it. A child, it's desperate in the sense it has to make good and it will swim. So is the case with most of the animals. They are born swimmers, right? You throw them into the water. Not that every animal could swim, but they can do that. Am I right? So, involving yourself, coming out. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a very prolific speaker to be an achiever. There are very many people who probably are not very expressive, not very communicative, but they are achievers in their own right in their realm of field. They are really good. But now, and another thing is, as you scale up the hierarchy in any organization, or how many of you would want to be an entrepreneur in his or her own right, not getting employed? Most of the time what happens is, parents tell us, study well, clear your exams with distinction, get into a good job, right? How many would want to do that? Please raise your hands. No one would want to get a good job, a fat salary, wonderful perquisites. Okay, all right. What about the rest? What would you want to do? What do you aspire to be, or what do you want to do? Tell me, open up. There's nothing like right or wrong.
Nobody's going to be judgmental.
Yeah, we are not going to be judgmental. The thing is, of recently, the trend seems to be changing. Fine, you do well, learn, there's no taking away anything from it. It's wonderful to be an achiever academically too. You're brilliant, you achieve it and all that. But always try and instill an entrepreneurial streak in you. When you're employed alone. You're taking up somebody else's opportunity. But when you become an entrepreneur, what do? You give employment to at least 5, 10, 15 or very many people. You know what's happening with the Facebook now? 11,000 people are being retrenched, right? Of about 1,18,000 people across. 11,000 people are asked to go home because there's a lot of churn happening, the areas of specialization and all that. They were all used to having a very cozy job, well-paid jobs. And there, it's unlike here, our labor laws and all that, it is simply an email which comes you, maybe some part of the day, you're fired. Maybe the way Mr. Mark Zuckerberg has put it across, he's written a beautiful letter to all employees. He has communicated to them how he feels very close to them, what is their contribution to Facebook and all that. But having said that, he has to let go. Right? He can't keep everyone because the economics of that doesn't work out. Now what I'm trying to say is, if you aspire to be an entrepreneur, you will never ever be unemployed. Right? There's no question of being unemployed. You are someone who is generating something. That can be done in very many ways. You don't have to build up a factory on your own. Now sir said about something like that. And one more thing I would also say, if you aspire to be something, make the inquiries, do the groundwork right away. There are children who say that I want to be a doctor. We ask them what are the different disciplines in the field of medicine. They don't know. The least you should do is go to a general practitioner, go to a specialist, go to a surgeon, pay a few visits to the hospital, get to know how it works. That is something you don't put it off until you have cleared your MBBS. You do it well before you get into MBBS. Once you do that, you know for sure whether you want to get into that stream or not. Preferably do not get into something just because someone wants you to do that. Please don't mistake it that in a way that it's what your parents' aspirations are for you. You don't have to go with it. No, you can go with it. But have a thorough discussion. Look into your pros and cons of that particular thing. What are your strengths? What are your limitations vis-a-vis that? That's very important. So why I'm trying to say that is, come out of your comfort zone and stop being conscious of the fact that others are watching. The lady there said, we have the fear, we feel conscious. Some people speak very well, some don't. Fine, that's okay. But, I can assure you that literally anyone for that matter, once that confidence is infused in you, can be an excellent communicator. You don't always have to grab a mic and address a huge audience of 500 or 5,000. In fact, what is difficult is addressing a small audience. 10, 15, 20 at close range is the most difficult audience to address. Can anyone tell me why? It's very easy to address 5,500 or 5 lakh people in a room or in a small hall. If you're addressing 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, it's a difficult thing. Why? Can anyone tell me that? Much tougher than the bigger numbers involved. They can notice your expressions, fine.
You can know what they are saying.
That you can do it in a bigger audience also. How does it matter?
Yes.
Eye contact, very good. Your body language, your eye contact. You are under the direct scrutiny. You have almost 15 pairs of eyes looking at you here now. And that's where you start feeling conscious. Am I good enough? Can I speak? And all that. And what is that one basic thing that we all ought to do, irrespective of the kind of a proficiency that we might hold? When you are addressing someone, please feel free to come out. Maybe I am going to learn something. But what is it that, let's say that you have been asked, or you have not been asked for that matter. There are two possibilities. You've been asked to address a small audience. What is it that you need to do when you address an audience? Tell me. You can throw up suggestions. What is going to make you more comfortable? Know your audience. Very important. Your audience, see, no one is going to waste time. You're not going to be listening to me, or you wouldn't want to be listening to something that I'm going to churn out and say. At the end of it, there should be a takeaway when this thing is over. You have people of immense experience out here. It is your grasp, what you are going to grasp from their experience, right? So it is very important to know your audience. Who is your audience? If I'm addressing a group of doctors, then and I'm talking on a topic of medicine, I better well be good in that particular topic. I can't take the audience for granted and churn off something. When it comes to children, they may be very young. They can throw you the most unexpected of questions, and that can floor us, right? So that is why know your audience, be very comfortable, and speak from your heart. I tell you, you don't have to remember anything when you speak from your heart. Be very honest. You don't know something, be very, I have had so many instances when young children say something and that's been new to me. Okay, I need to confess that I'm not aware of that. Nothing wrong in admitting our limitations at times. In fact, it requires strength. That's what is all honesty about. Honesty, when I say integrity, it is across all realms of life. Integrity is not necessarily that you don't rob from someone. It's much more than that. Your commitment to something, you're doing something, whether someone is watching you or not. All these forms of part of integrity. So if you all turn out to be, if you make an effort to become good communicators, then let me tell you, the world is wide open to you. It doesn't matter which stream, which discipline you get into. You can always, that becomes a life skill which stays with you. No matter where, it'll enable your student life, your personal life, your family life, your professional life, your social life, everywhere. You are at your best, at your comfortable best, talking to someone or communicating with someone, right?